Hi, I'm Taina, and I'm going on a journey to find out how we're linked to people across the world by the choices we make and the things we buy, as well as finding out what life is like for the people who grow our food. I've been to Conocado and seen for myself that Fairtrade has helped cocoa farmers in the Dominican Republic, but I know there are many more farmers and workers across the developing world who grow and produce our food. What about them? To help answer my question, I'm here with Kathy from the Fairtrade Foundation to find out whether Fairtrade has helped change farmers' lives across the world. Hello. So far I've found out that world trade rules and power structures are unfairly balanced against farmers and workers in the developing world. But I know that Fairtrade is helping cocoa farmers in the Dominican Republic by setting them a fair price for their cocoa, as well as introducing a Fairtrade premium, a sort of community pot to go towards helping build things they need, like schools, wells and clinics, as well as providing training and support to workers. But are you able to help other farmers that are struggling in the developing world? And how many are there?
That's a really good question. There are more than 1.4 million Fairtrade farmers and workers across 74 countries and approximately 500 million smallholder farmers in the world. They grow everything from sugar, tea, rice, bananas, oranges. Fairtrade can help farmers across the developing world to get a stable price for their product, to cover their costs and plan ahead. One way for us to help more farmers and workers is for people to show that they care about where their food comes from and the people growing it. If more people ask for Fairtrade products, more farmers and workers can get the benefits of Fairtrade. It's also not just about the individual products though. The Fairtrade Foundation would like to see changes to the way that the rules that govern trade internationally work so that trade benefits struggling farmers more.
So do you have an example of how changing what we buy changes the lives of farmers across the developing world?
You'll have seen the difference that Fairtrade makes in the communities that you visited. For example, in the community of Los Brazos, where you met Mariella, they use Fairtrade Premium to install a water supply to the village so that the houses had piped water. Before this, they were collecting water from a stream 4 kilometres away over rough terrain and would carry it home by donkey or on their heads. Gathering water could take up to 4 hours a day. The stream was very small and sometimes there would be no water left for the last people who went to get it. This has really had an impact on people's lives as they have more time and energy to look after or make improvements to their farms.
So, if it can help farmers that are struggling in poverty, why isn't all food fair trade?
Obviously, everyone should be paid fairly for the work that they do, whether they're in the Dominican Republic or in the UK. The Fairtrade Foundation specifically works with farmers in the Global South to get them a better deal, but the issues are the same no matter what the product and no matter where the producer is. Unfortunately, because companies who buy food products strive to keep their costs low, the people who lose out are usually the farmers or workers who grow the food. Organisations like the Fairtrade Foundation work hard to show that this is unfair for the farmers in poorer countries.
If trade across the world became fair, would poverty in the developing world end?
There are other factors that affect poverty, as well as unfair trade, such as conflict, corruption and debt. However, having fairer trade across the world will help in a big way towards lifting people out of poverty. Fair trade and other ethically minded organisations are part of the bigger picture in supporting and empowering many farmers and workers to combat poverty.
All this has shown me that choosing fair trade has the power to change lives. But if I choose fair trade hot chocolate or bananas, can that really show supermarkets and sellers that fair trade is important and increase the demand to sell more fair trade? I'm here at the co-op to find out whether they have been influenced by customers to stock more fair trade in their supermarkets across the UK. So when did you decide to stock fair trade products and why?
Well, fair trade is really important to us as a business anyway. The more fair trade products we sold, the more we could see the benefits back at origin, places like Dominican Republic and Ghana on cocoa, for example. And then we told those stories to our customers who became really engaged, and so they wanted to support the producers and so they could do that by buying fair trade. So we just offer the tools to the customer, try to build the awareness, the education, and left it really to the customers to take it into their own hands and to support the producer in that way.
So would you take any notice of a young person like myself asking for a supermarket to stock more fair trade products?
I think the really important message is for any customer is don't think you can't make a difference. Just because you choose the product and it's one bag of coffee or one pack of tea or one chocolate bar, you're making a significant difference. If everybody makes the fair trade choice, then the impact back at origin is significant. In my experience, actually, the younger people are the more influential. So if anybody wants a fair trade product put in their store, then they should only ask. If we can get enough demand and we can prove that actually there's enough demand out there, we can't manage a range for individual stores, but if there's sufficient demand more nationally, then of course we will always look to put fair trade products in. So the really important thing to know as a customer is that the power is in your hands. You can make the real difference to people.
Since coming back from seeing such hard work and how people's lives are so different in the Dominican Republic, it's really weird for me to just go in a shop and pick up like a chocolate bar, because I know the story behind it and I know how it actually got onto the shelf and how much hard work people put into it. When I'm going back to a supermarket, I'm just going to remember everything that I've learned on my trip, and that what I buy really does change lives, and I've seen that firsthand, and I've realised that I can make a difference. It's been an amazing adventure and I'll never forget it.